On today's episode, for sale by owner talk, what do you say to somebody who's got a for sale by owner with a tenant in it? We've got a script for that. We've also got some other really interesting content that I'm sure you're going to love. Let's check out this episode right now. All right, welcome everybody. This is the National Scripts and Role Play. I'm your facilitator, Chris Hurley, and I help you get better at your words in real estate. We practice every single day, different threads of conversations that you've had. One of the ones that we worked on just before we started this call in the pre-show, what if you had a tenant in the property and you had to negotiate access to do showings to give other buyers a chance to purchase it? Simple script that Sean rekeyed for everybody. It's in the chat. And it goes something like this. If we could arrange 2 days a week and provide me a 2-hour window, what would be the best for you? If there's a time, I'll touch base with you twice a week to get access twice a week, 2 hours at 2 hours each time. And that way it doesn't interrupt your day too much. You can do that with tenants. Just give them a good negotiated script, make them see that it's not inconvenient, and the tenants will give you access. It's probably in their contract anyway, but we always want them to give it rather than to take it.
And just introducing myself to them, getting a phone number, conversating with them, and just asking them the question, what works for you?
And if it's combative, Carol, just say, how do you see this concluding? Like in a perfect scenario, what would be the ideal conclusion of this relationship in your world? I'd love to promise you free rent for the next 6 months and you don't have to decide, but that's really not on the table. So would you like to move natural and smooth hand in hand, or do you want to battle the whole way? What's
And
the last
that's where
30
it's
days?
go- Right.
What's the last 30 days look like in your perfect world? I mean, do you live in the side of a soap opera drama, or would you rather live in a children's book with happy endings for everybody? Rainbows and sunshine is where I like to stay.
Right. Right.
Julie Hess is in PA. She's got something.
I like that, the drama or the sunshine book. We just listed a couple months ago, first time a 3 tenant unit. And from all of you and listening, we did the proactive. We called each and every one of them and just had a great conversation. What is your concern? What can we help you with? Let's walk through the best days. And I found that by investing the time and talking to each of the tenants, it made things go so much easier. And, we were able to sell that home. I will say on closing date, my lockbox was gone and I use an electronic lockbox. The only way you can get that off is to take the handle off. So I did have to call the next day and explain, it's $125 and it's the property of my broker. And, so I'm just kind of curious as what happened to it, and then he did call back and say, that doorknob's been loose since day one, which it hasn't. And we got the lockbox back, but we tackled it up front. And I'll tell you, it made a world of difference because I hear nightmare stories all day long.
Never easy, yet don't be surprised when situations come up that require additional negotiations. It's all part of this game. Like in this end, back in the day, guys, 2008, 9, 10, the term cash for keys was a legit strategy. You legit had to show up to tenants who weren't paying, had defaulted, and give them $1,500 to get out. And that's real. Like it can get to that granular of a negotiation where you've got to walk up with an envelope full of cash to get the keys and get possession to get this listing sold. So I want to just think about the for sale by owner dialogue. We're not going to finish the whole thing, but a couple threads in this that I want you to practice in terms of delivery and tonality. One of the themes we're going to use as we turn the corner into the new year is to be more thoughtful with other sorts of technical aspects of phrases. So you will hear phrases again and again because they're really key ones for us to use. Like that's why we need to meet. That's why we need to meet. Follow your cadence down to be a command rather than that's why we need to meet. Really, that's why we need to meet. That sounds different, instructs people differently. So as we go through this next season of these episodes, I want to really think of what is the delivery you want to sound like. So think about this script and how you would deliver it to somebody. And some of the objections are, do you have an offer? What is your commission? Right? Those are Valerie Presley, are those all normal conversations with FSBOs? They are. They're
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. They're going to have those conversations. So you're going to have to practice a couple delivery lines that get you to the next step. So I'm going to call somebody who would like to be my for sale by owner.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, ring, ring, Kojo.
Hello?
Hey, I was calling about the house for sale. I noticed that you're selling it by owner, and I wanted to see if it was still available.
Yes, it is. Are you a renter or you say for sale by owner, right? Are you a buyer
Yeah,
or you're an agent?
I'm a local realtor in the area, just trying to keep up with the market. Just out of curiosity, if I had a full price offer for you today, would you want me to bring it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, the only thing I need to do is take a look at the house. Would today at 4 or tomorrow at 6 be a good time?
Will you come with your buyer?
You know, part of that is me looking at the market and making sure it's a good match for my buyers and making sure their time is well invested. So it'll just take 10 or 15 minutes of my time. Is tomorrow at 6 better or today at 4?
Probably Saturday is better.
Okay. Say, what's your commission, Kojo?
What's your commission?
You know, my commission is 3% to represent the buyer. And if you accept their offer, if I don't bring an offer, my fee is 0. Meaning it doesn't
Well,
cost you anything for me to see your home and potentially bring you a buyer. So would today
Well-
at 4, tomorrow at 6 be better?
well, I prefer for your buyer to pay you. You're presenting them, right?
Well, that'll be up to you to decide if their offer is worthwhile. So would today at 4, tomorrow at 6 be okay?
Saturday at 5 is better.
All right, perfect. Sunday at 5, I'll be there.
All right.
So it's a little entry level conversation, Kojo. What'd you think?
That's great conversation, pretty much basic. As long as you can get to the door, then you take off from there, face to face.
Get to the face-to-face experience. Like in this market, Kojo, you and I are in the same town. Are you seeing as many for sale by owner signs as I'm seeing?
They're coming up and calling them all the time. What they usually say, I don't want to pay commission because they think the market is still hot before, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months later, they're still there hanging. The follow-up game.
So what will you say to get the appointment? That the game of this, if you simply went on 1 a week, gosh, they just say 2 a month. Say you went on 2 a month for 40 weeks. Or for 10 months, 2 a month for 10 months. If you converted only a third of those 5 listings, would that be worthwhile to go on those couple appointments per month? It's just a flavor, guys. You can talk to expireds or for sale by owners. You can do first time home buyer seminars. You can do other types of relationship things in a neighborhood, but transactional business is always right there on the table for you. And it's just a conversation to have. So think about this as you go into an opportunity to practice today. This is a for sale by owner script, and it's a way that you can set an appointment with a transactional piece of business. You're not going to convince them to list right then and there, but I'm sure you heard from this engagement process, when we work with people who are in the transaction moment, just like Jen was saying in the pre-show, people may succeed at for sale by owner, and yet at the end of it, what do they say to themselves? I never want to do this again. Like literally, they will go through that experience. Imagine if you found that small investor who had 5 or 6 units, sold 1 for sale by owner, and had 4 more in your town that they had to sell as well. And they knew they didn't want to do it themselves. You guys, we just have to show up, consult with people, see what makes sense, reach out to them and see if you can make an offer and be part of their operation. Visit with people face to face, decide if you want the listing, and build a good farm of people knowing that you care and consult with people to lead to their success. So we're going to go to breakout rooms now. Down below, if you look at the breakout rooms button, you can join whatever breakout room you want to go to. And then you'll pick a couple people to jump in with, practice this script or anything else. And then when we've finished here, we'll come back on the other side with golden bumper sticker nuggets. Go away to say, Adrian Bailey.
I've already had an appointment with a for sale by owner, and I need some help with scripting on when I call them back, they don't want to pay the 6% commission.
Yeah.
So I've been given somebody else's sheet, but I don't know any talking points on how to break down. Okay, if you don't want to do 6, they've got 5.5 and 5, but I don't know how to use it. So I wasn't comfortable even bringing it out when I met with them.
So, you can entice people like to do it, but if you ask Ian, peanut butter sandwiches are awful. right? And if he was eating a peanut butter sandwich and you offered him a bologna sandwich, he'd be like, oh my gosh, that's such an improvement. But there's
Yeah.
some people who like peanut butter, who that if you said, listen, I'd like to offer you a T-bone steak, they say, no, I like peanut butter. I'm a vegan. This is better for me.
Yeah, true.
So in that circumstance, when a for sale by owner is there, it's really not about what we can do to entice them.
Mhm.
They have to have an experience with
Before
the
you walk
market.
away with the plate, get the crumbs off the
That's
couch.
it, Kim. And then you have an experience, they have an experience with the market that they have to feel pain in. Because when they're in a painful situation, unhappy, displeased, unsatisfied, they'll then make another decision. But if they're excited, encouraged, thrilled, there's not a magic lure that's going to entice them away from that unless it's totally about money. Because if I'm optimistic that I'm going to make the most money, that's the only leverage point you have. But if I'm nervous, frightened, and scared, uncertain, Adrian, what would you do different to get a buyer in here? Well, that's why people hire me, because I know how to find buyers. Do you want me to find buyers for you? Well, I don't want to pay for it. I understand most people don't want to pay for it. And
Mhm.
people that don't pay for it just get to stay. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Like if you knew that 99% of the homes that buyers and sellers came to agreement on were brokered and you wanted to do it the 1% way, wouldn't that feel the way you feel now? Because you're just doing it different than everybody else. Do you want to do it differently? Like to get it sold with a good price? Or do you want to keep dealing with people that are unrepresented and bottom feeders? Because it sounds like that's what you're getting.
Mhm. He keeps saying that there's other people. Okay, I've got other agents that I know that will discount their commissions.
Yeah, and nobody knows their value more than they do. And perhaps that's what they're being honest with you about, that their real value is just discounted. Is your house a discounted house? Like, I'm just asking, if you went to Ross, we get jeans, we get blouses,
Mhm.
but they're irregular. Is your house irregular? Because what does it say to the buyer community when they know that?
FSBO has two different, I guess, objections. The first one is there's still work that I want to do to the house. I want to get it painted, and it was an investment property. I want to get it painted and floors and countertops changed out. So we talked about the potential of not having to do that. And then the next thing was, well, I'm still not sure. I still may want to just keep it and rent it out again. So we're going to be meeting today. And I just want to know, how do I approach both of those objections?
So Sasha, as a consultant, right? We're consulting with them. Let's just talk about the benefits of each scenario. Let's just write them down. What's the benefit if you do this? And then what happens if you do that? And in 24 months, if you've done this, and then you have to do this again, what would that be like? What is the difference between liquid capital and invested capital? Is invested capital serving you better now than liquid capital? In a market like we are experiencing, is this the high side of the market, or are we in the low side of the market? What do you see? If they're predicting a recession and in 24 months conditions are lower than they are now, what would that make you? How would that make you feel? Because in 2019, nobody could predict 2021.
Yeah.
Yet we're here, and houses did what they're going to do. Do you think that'll ever happen again in your lifetime? So if we're going to go back to a corrected market, and in 2 years, interest rates will be what they are and other things will be what they are, and your value is maybe even a little bit lower, how would you feel about that? What did you enjoy about being an investor? What would make you want to do it again? What's the opportunity that's in front of you right now that's making you think you don't want to be an investor? What would happen if that wasn't available in 2 years? Well, did you already have, Kelly, have you had a conversation with them
No,
already?
today will be the first day that I reach out and have the conversation.
Perfect. So never talk price. It's
Okay.
not even numbers thing will will not get you the relationship. So we're trying to win the relationship. They have a certain perspective of us. That's why they went for sale by owner. So blah, you know, we're going to encounter them where we are. The value you bring, the value I'm bringing to the table is I have the buyers,
Mhm.
and that's my job. My job is to find the buyers and bring them to sellers. That's what I get, you know, paid to do. So ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, I was calling about the house for sale, and I noticed you're selling it by owner, and I wanted to see if it was still available.
Yeah, it's still available.
Okay, my name's Chris. I'm a local realtor in the area. Who am I speaking with?
This is Kelly, Chris. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing excellent today. Are you doing well?
I'm doing well. Got a
Kelly,
buyer
if
for
I had
me?
you know, I may, and if I did have a full price offer for you today, would you want me to bring it to you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely cooperating with realtors. But I just want to make sure of one thing, you know, I'm asking 1.1 for it, and I
Uh-huh.
need to just make sure that your person is approved for that. They approved for that amount?
Oh, absolutely. I don't get into my car without pre-approved people. Trust me, when I, one of the things I make sure that we do is when we start doing the dance, we can finish it together. So that's part of what we do with all of our buyers. Well, you know, I need to take a look at the house. Would today at 4 or tomorrow at 6 be a good time to stop by and take a visit?
Probably today at 4 is good.
Okay, perfect. I'll be by today at 4.
Mhm. So I just want to make sure you said that you had an approved person. I'm asking 1.1, so I was looking for somebody who is approved at that number.
Yeah, absolutely. I work with many buyers, and that's why they, you know, they pick me to find the house. So they've got me in charge of doing the things, and I'm just here checking out the inventory. So I'll see you today at 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
it. Get in the door. Super. Oh, your house looks beautiful. This is amazing. Oh, nice. Oh, beautiful. Oh, nice. How amazing. You know, how much did you have the house? How much were you asking for the house?
1.1.
Okay. And how did you come about that list price? How did you guys decide on that?
Well, there's some things that have sold that are close to that in the area, and it's just the number that we figured we would give a try. We came
Okay.
down 33,000, so we feel like we definitely have been back some.
Super. You know what? You may be right at that number. Do you have a certain amount of time you do it on your own before you may relook at a different plan?
No, I'm fine with just taking care of it myself.
So if it's still on the market in 6 months at 1.1, would a different plan might be worth looking at that time?
Maybe, but I'm really not in that big of a hurry. It's bringing in money, it's covering everything I need, plus some extra. So I'm not in a big hurry.
Okay. Well, Kelly, just out of curiosity, when you did sell it, where were you guys going to move?
Well, we actually live over in another county, so we're staying there. We're just looking to let this go.
Okay. So this is a vacant house.
No, we've got tenants in it.
Oh, it's got tenants in it. Okay. And is it a month-to-month situation? Like if somebody wanted to buy it and come in and move in the next 30 days, is that possible?
So one is month to month, yeah. The other one, it has a lease until March of 2023. It's not that
Okay.
bad.
Have you ever sold a house with a tenant in place before?
No.
Okay. If you were a tenant, do you have the best interest, or if you were have a tenant or yourself, who do you think has the most interest in getting the property sold?
Probably me.
Okay. How do you think the tenant helps the buyers see value in the house? Do you think they have an interest in that?
No, I wondered about that, but I told them that we're trying to sell, and I've given them like about a year's notice, so they know we're trying to sell. It hasn't been like just immediate. And they're
Okay.
pretty reasonable people, and I think they understand we're going to need to move.
And in the competition of the market of the moment, where it's a price war and a beauty contest, do you think your position with this house being managed by the tenant to experience the buyers is the best way to get the most from the market? And how has the buyer response been? Have you gotten a bunch of overpriced offers?
No.
Okay. What's that tell you about the market?
Well, I don't know. I'm just waiting to get the person that I want. With the right, I'm just waiting to get the right number.
Okay. And do you have a certain amount of time where you need that to happen, or is it just the number can happen now or in the next 10 years? It doesn't matter.
I don't want it to be 10 years, but I don't have a hard time frame. No, like I said, we live someplace else. We're not far. So,
Okay. Okay. Kelly, I understand where you guys are, and it certainly is a lot of money that, you're trying to protect. And I had clients like you back in 2007 and 8. And when we talked about the same outcome where they wanted more than what the market was representing and they had tenants managing the property for them, I recommended it was somewhere between 7 and 10 years before values would be what they expect. And you know what happened, Kelly?
no, what happened?
They sold it in 2017 and they got their value out of it, but it really did take 9 years.
Hmm.
So if you knew it would take you 9 years, would there be a different plan that might you consider today?
Oh, maybe.
Okay. Like, what would that look like? If you could get the house sold this year for blank, would you do it?
I don't know. I have to talk to my partner about that. I'm not sure. We were looking at the 1.1. We felt like the house could, bring that in the market. It's in Jersey City. It's, that's a hot area. And we want to do some things with that money, other investment things.
And do you think in 2 to 3 years, if you wait that long, those opportunities you want to do it with will still be there?
I think so. I think there's always opportunity, but
You just got to have the money to play the game, don't you?
Right.
And right now you don't have the money to play the game, do you?
No, not as much as I want to, but I just want to get the money out of this because I think this is a time for it.
Okay. And in the future, if you didn't get the money out of it today and it got less in the future, would that be what you want?
No.
Okay. Why do you want to do it on your own? Is it just to save the money?
Well, I've dealt with realtors before and, I'd like to see if I can do it. I feel like you can do it over in this area without a realtor. People have done it. I'd save the money, but I'm actually okay with you bringing a buyer out. I'll pay a fee. I'll pay a commission. I'm okay with that. I definitely am cooperating with brokers.
All right. We're at the top of the hour. I got to cut a break there, Kelly. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Scripts Jedi. You can find out more content from us by looking at YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. All the different platforms have our content. So if you're looking for a certain script or other things to level up your language, look on one of those platforms. I've edited them down so they're very easy to search and find exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking for regular training in a group that will help you run the business that you've dreamed of, Evolve Coaching, my company, can help you do that. We can help you level up with virtual assistants that are already trained and ready to go, or we can just help you with a cadence that makes your business run full steam ahead. Let me know how I can help you. Look at the links in the description to see how Evolve Coaching can help